All right, welcome to Between the Lines, fueled by Gatorade. Pete Bercich is here. Gabe Henderson is here. The Vikings win is here. We won 17-9. Should have been 17-3, but the Chicago Bears scored on the last play of the game. And it was just one of those games where it was just very weird.
Yeah,
we'll take
weird.
the win, but how we got it, I really don't know how to explain it other than we won.
No, you're right. And, a big play to Justin Jefferson early on. Amir Smith-Marset with a nice touchdown grab, getting Justin Jefferson to come out of the backfield. I think confused them a little bit. But really, you would expect to get a lot more through the air. With a mainly, let's say, backups and guys off the street playing in the secondary for the Chicago Bears. I mean, unprecedented. You see that COVID list and the number of people that they brought in. I mean, it was really unbelievable. But they were playing defensively. They were playing pretty inspired.
Yeah.
They were out there. They were battling. But we took advantage. DJ Wanham had a great day, I think, today. Michael Pierce had a great day today. So defensively up front, we won. I think we won that battle. We lost Eric Kendricks by the end of the game, unfortunately. So all that being said, not a bad Cameron Dantzler getting his first opportunity to get out there and play. Not his first opportunity, but in a while to get the start and get out there and run around a little bit. Exactly. So he had a big forced fumble too. So it's the fumbles have been killing the Bears, I believe. For Fields, that's 14 fumbles this year, 5 of which he's lost. So, they just keep putting the ball on the ground and getting in their own way. But that's the reason they're a 4-win franchise. And it was one of those games where, like you said, you win it, but you just don't. You have a good feel. Hey, as a player, all that matters is the W. As a coach, all that matters is the W. As a fan, and a commentator, you can step back and go, we'd like to see this, this, and this. But, man, it is so week to week in the NFL these days, and they're going to have a lot to correct and fix this Christmas week because they have the Rams coming to town.
Yeah. Dalvin Cook had more rushing yards than Kirk Cousins had passing yards. Kirk 50% on the day, but Dalvin, 28 carries, 89 yards. Every time he comes to Soldier Field, it's always a hard-fought contest. Like, he had to earn every single one of those yards today.
He did. And, I also like the way Kene Nwangwu spelled him. Kene had a couple of nice runs today. We know he's a great athlete. We know what he can do on those kick returns, and it was great to see him come out of the backfield. He's for a guy with his speed, he's big.
Yeah.
And I think his speed is a little bit deceiving. He can run through those arm tackles. He's big enough and strong enough to do that. So the quicker he learns this offense, and I think mainly, as a running back, the runs, so to speak, but you got to know all the protections. You got to know all those different things. And as he mentally gets into this game, learns more, I like to see him more out on the field.
What about the play of Michael Pierce today? David Montgomery had a solid first half, but in the second half, we see him like Michael Pierce started to take some things personally. His matchup with their offensive guard, you just saw their offensive guard or their center in Justin Fields' lap, or David Montgomery getting hit in the backfield, and ultimately that opens up opportunities for the linebackers to be able to run it free. But what a job he did today.
He did a great job. Mustafa for the center for the Bears. I mean, he's been here for quite some time now, and I think Pierce just played on the other side of the line of scrimmage, which is so important. And getting the rest of those guys to come in and filling in and rushing the passer. I mean, we let him out a few times, but we balanced up our rush pretty well. And when we did that, we kept Fields from really getting anything done. He had a couple good rushes, against man, which is expected, but you got to mix it up. I thought when we blitzed, we were very, very effective. And giving Fields a number of different looks. So overall, though, Pierce won that battle up front.
Yeah, he did win that battle. DJ Wanham won his battle today, 3 sacks. He's a guy that's been coming on as of late. And I always talk about giving credit to Andre Patterson. You got Danielle Hunter out for the season, Everson Griffin not playing, but the Minnesota Vikings still lead the NFL in sacks. Yeah. For them to continue to do that, that's crazy.
It is pretty amazing. And I like Harrison Smith. He blitz. Anytime you blitz in the NFL and you have a free rusher to the quarterback, that's a lot of different things. That's a great plan. That's a great great call, and then executing it. And Harrison Smith could have had himself another sack, but he let Fields really spin out on him and everything else. And he and Vigil were both free. I mean, two guys free to the quarterback. You just don't see that much in the NFL. So, but you're right. Andre Patterson has done an unbelievable job with whomever he has in that room, and I think that's a mark of a good coach, to take and develop these young guys and make them, into that next level. And that's why it's going to be interesting to watch DJ Wanham the rest of the season. I mean, he's on a little bit of a roll here. Let's see if he can continue. And I think tonight you have a couple tackles. You had Jermaine Ifedi, who's hasn't played played much, and so you had an advantage there, I think. So we'll find out against the Rams if you can keep it rolling.
Find out against the Rams. Well, the Vikings do get a win right before Christmas, even though it wasn't tightly wrapped. It wasn't a tightly wrapped gift. They still get one, and they got the LA Rams coming up. A top 5 offense, an offense that can get it done. And Mike Zimmer, I'm sure he's going to have some things dialed up. We've seen Matt Stafford plenty of times. This is a better team that he's playing against, but still, how do the Vikings get a win post-Christmas?
Well, that's going to be a tough one. I mean, you look at the problem that Akeem Hicks gave us tonight, and you got another guy, Aaron Donald, that's coming, and then they have just a kind of a star-studded lineup. Odell Beckham Jr. is starting to really hit his stride a little bit. Cooper Kupp is still a very good wide receiver. Sony Michel, if you fall asleep on that running game, I mean he can get it done for them too. So I think a better team on paper and overall than the Bears, rolling in the next week, a much more veteran quarterback, that's for sure. But we know if we can get after him and get Stafford on the ground and hit him a few times, that's going to be the challenge, I think, is just getting into his back pocket.
Yeah, got to do that, and more importantly, we got to get a win. One more day closer to the next LA Rams game.
One game at a time.
One game at a time.
Well, they have an even shorter week, having to play on Tuesday, so that's another huge advantage.
On the road.
Yes, exactly. That's another huge advantage for the Minnesota Vikings is to have the Rams team playing a short week, have to fly all the way up to Minnesota. So, those things are going to tip the scales, I think, a little bit more in our favor, and we'll see. It's going to be a fun night.
Vikings fans, take this win. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoyed this, even though it was kind of weird. But more importantly, you got to smile and laugh about one more thing heading into Christmas. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next week on Between the Lines, fueled by Gatorade.